cut all ties with my sister after she seduced my husband and said it was none of my business. But it wasn't that simple. My sister showed up to my bachelorette party in a white dress and no underwear. That should have told me everything I needed to know. But I laughed it off like everyone else, because I was used to brushing off her weird, attention-hogging stunts. She was always dramatic, always made things about her, always had a story bigger than mine. I was used to it. Everyone was. She'd been like that since we were kids. If I got a toy, she wanted it. If I made a friend, she stole them. If I did something well, she'd do it louder, messier, more visibly. But somehow, even when she ruined things, people coddled her. She was the free spirit, the wild one, the chaotic little sister. That title gave her permission to wreck everything and still be seen as fun. When I met Tom, I kept him away from her as long as I could. I didn't bring him to family dinners at first. I never posted him until we were serious. I avoided the introduce him to my sister moment like it was a trap, and maybe I already knew it was. But eventually, she found a way in. She always does. She acted unimpressed the first time she met him. Called him safe. Said he looked like he worked in finance, even though he was a paramedic. She had this way of cutting people down in front of you, making it seem like a joke, but you'd see the flash in her eyes. She wanted a reaction. I didn't give her one. She kept coming around after that. Too often. Brought wine and takeout like she was just being helpful. Started dressing up a little more every time. Started touching his arm when she laughed. Started calling him Mr. Responsible like it was a nickname. I'd watch her move through the kitchen like it was hers. Sit on our couch like she lived there. Flip her hair while she talked to him, like she wasn't my sister, like I wasn't even in the room. Tom always said it was nothing. Said she was just like that. Said he only saw me. And I believed him. Because I had to. Because otherwise I'd have to face the fact that I let her in, again, and she was already taking something. The wedding happened. She cried louder than my mom. She got drunk and danced with him during my song. She gave a speech I never asked her to give. Told the crowd how proud she was of me for finally growing up. I smiled for the photos. I laughed at her jokes. And then I moved on. Or tried to. Things got strange fast. Tom started coming home later. More tired. More distant. He said work was intense. He said I was being clingy. He said I needed to relax. And then I saw her name on his phone one night. Late. Too late for whatever excuse he was about to offer. I didn't ask questions. I just stared at the screen until he noticed, and he snatched the phone like a guilty teenager. Said she was going through something. Said she needed someone to talk to. Said I was overreacting. I didn't respond. I just got up and slept on the couch for 3 nights straight. The silence didn't fix anything. It made him colder. It made me spiral. I started checking his location, reading old texts, watching him like I was trying to catch a criminal instead of save a marriage. And I hated myself for it. But I couldn't stop. Then I found the photos. I wasn't even snooping that day. I was looking for a work file on the shared drive, and there they were, buried deep in a random folder. Not nudes. Nothing that obvious. Just them. At the beach. In his car. One of her wearing his hoodie, the same one he claimed he'd lost. One where she kissed his cheek, and he smiled in that way he used to smile at me, like she was everything. The timestamps didn't lie. This had been going on for a while. I confronted him. I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I just showed him the screen and waited. He didn't deny it. He didn't even flinch. He just said, "I didn't think you'd find out." And that was it. No apology. No panic. Just that. Like it was a receipt I wasn't supposed to see. I left. I didn't pack bags. I didn't announce anything. I just walked out, keys in hand, and drove to my coworker's empty guest room. I turned my phone off and stayed offline for 2 days. When I turned it back on, I had 3 missed calls from him. 2 from my mom, none from her. Until I got the text from her. All it said was, "It's none of your business." That was it. Not, "I'm sorry." Not, "We didn't mean to hurt you." Just that. Like I was some stranger in the wrong place at the wrong time. I blocked her number. I blocked his. I didn't tell anyone the full story, not yet. I just disappeared. Let them come up with their own versions. Let them whisper whatever they wanted. Because I was done explaining. But of course, it wasn't over. People don't let you cut family off without a fight. Especially when that family plays victim like it's a sport. She didn't just move on. She moved in. To my old life. She showed up in places we used to go. She made herself visible. She wanted me to see her win. And for a while I did. Because walking away doesn't mean walking clean. You still feel the blood under your nails. You still hear their voices in your head. You still wonder if somehow, maybe, you deserved it. After I blocked them both, I went completely quiet. No calls, no texts, no dramatic goodbye. I just let the silence do what it needed to. At first, it felt like control. Like I finally stopped being their target, or their backup plan. But that wore off fast. Because silence only works when people leave you alone. She didn't. A week after I disappeared, I started getting these anonymous packages. Flowers. Handwritten cards with no name. One had a candle that smelled exactly like the one I used to keep in the living room. Another came with a keychain that said, "Is Ann hers?" I knew it was her. She was messing with me. Making sure I knew she still had access to my life, my memories, my things. I changed my number. Didn't post anything. She still found ways to get in. Then I heard from my cousin. She said my sister showed up to brunch with a new ring. One that looked a lot like my wedding ring. Not identical, but close enough that people noticed. She said they were taking things slow, but she kept flashing the ring every time someone asked. Kept saying she was finally with someone who understood her. I didn't say anything. I didn't ask questions. I just moved apartments, got a new job across town, cut my hair, and deleted every shared folder, account, and contact I had with either of them. I wiped them out like a virus. Thought that would be the end. But then she showed up to my work. Not inside. She just waited outside the building. Stood by the parking lot like she was there by accident. Sunglasses on. Coffee in hand. Like she was just existing in my space. I saw her from across the street. She didn't wave. She didn't move. Just watched me. I turned around, walked the long way, and filed a formal notice with HR the next day. Told them I had a stalker. Didn't even say it was my sister. The week after, I got an email. From Tom. No subject line. Just, "We're getting married. I thought you should hear it from me." No body text. Just that. They were getting married. My sister, my husband, getting married. I didn't cry. I didn't rage. I stared at the screen, then closed the laptop and went to make a sandwich. That was it. There was nothing left to feel. Just noise in my head and a sense that every part of me had already shut down weeks ago. Until I got the second email. Same account. Different tone. "You left some things at the old place. If you want them, pick them up by next week or they're gone." I didn't reply. Instead, I drove over at 2 a.m. on a Thursday, parked down the street, and watched through the window. Not because I wanted him back. Not because I cared what she was doing. But because I needed to see what kind of people they were when they thought no one was looking. They weren't even there. The house was empty. No lights. No furniture through the blinds. Just silence. I left. But I couldn't stop thinking about it. So I did something I hadn't done in months. I checked the county records. They sold the house 3 weeks ago. So the email? The "pick up your stuff" message? A lie. There was no house to go back to. There was nothing left. It was bait. To see if I'd show up. To see if they still had that kind of power. And that's when something shifted. I stopped wondering why she did it. I stopped trying to figure out what he saw in her, or why she thought any of this was okay. Instead, I started tracking everything they still had that was mine. Photos. Files. Passwords. Joint accounts he never removed me from. Old furniture I bought. That shared Spotify account I paid for. Little things. But enough. So I drained them. First, I wiped the Spotify account. Deleted every playlist. Logged him out on every device. Changed the name to Enjoy the Silence before killing the subscription. Then I canceled the cloud storage I paid for. All the shared folders? Gone. Photos? Videos? Memories? All deleted. Then I called the furniture rental company. Turns out the living room set was under my name. I arranged for pickup. Sent it straight to a storage unit in my name. Paid 6 months in advance. Didn't tell a soul. And the accounts? The ones he forgot to close? I logged in and made sure they were unusable. Set the delivery address to my new work, then canceled the cards. It wasn't revenge. Not really. It was cleanup. Cutting off the last pieces they forgot to steal. And then I disappeared again. Until 2 months later, when I got a call from my mom. I let it ring. Then she left a voicemail. Said it was an emergency. Said my sister was in the hospital. I didn't call back. Not right away. I waited 3 days. Then I called my cousin. She filled in the blanks. Turns out, my sister had a breakdown. Not a small one. Full public scene. Screaming at a restaurant. Threw a drink at Tom. Said he ruined her life. Said she should have been the bride, not the replacement. Said he only ever looked at her like a shadow of someone else. Cops were called. She didn't get arrested, but it made the rounds online. Someone filmed it. My cousin sent me the video. It had 500,000 views. My sister? Wasted. Screaming. Crying. Completely unraveling in front of strangers. I watched it once. Then I deleted it. Didn't save it. Didn't share it. Just sat there, staring at the wall, wondering if I felt anything. I didn't. But I also didn't block my mom when she called the next week. She said my sister was in a treatment center. Said she was asking for me. Said she wanted to apologize. That's where things got complicated again. I didn't rush to visit her. I didn't send flowers. I didn't write her a letter. I just let the days pass. She'd spent years making a joke out of me, and now she was the one behind locked doors, wearing paper wristbands, asking for the sister she gutted. But after a week, I drove down. Not because I missed her. Not because I needed her apology. I just needed to see if she meant it or if this was another stunt. She weaponized every emotion she ever had, and I wasn't going to fall for one more performance unless I watched it with my own eyes. They gave us 15 minutes. She looked smaller. Pale. Like someone who hadn't eaten or slept for a while. But the moment she saw me, she tried to smile. Like this was some kind of reunion. Like she hadn't detonated my entire life and then blamed me for bleeding. She said she didn't remember everything that happened at the restaurant. Said she was drinking too much. Said she never meant for it to go that far. I didn't say anything. Just stared. Let her twist in the silence she used to throw at me like a game. Now it wasn't fun anymore. She asked if I hated her. I said no, because hate takes energy. And I stopped giving her mine. She asked if I forgave her. I asked her if she was sorry. She didn't answer. She just stared down at her hands, like that question was unfair. Like I was the one pushing too far now. Like she hadn't used me as a ladder and yanked it out from under me the second she saw a chance to take my place. So I got up and left. She called after me. Not loud. Just enough for me to hear. I wasn't trying to ruin your life. But she had. Maybe not on purpose. Maybe not with a step-by-step plan. But she still did it. Piece by piece. Laugh by laugh. Lie by lie. And now she was broken in a hospital, and I was the one walking out clean. Or so I thought. Because a month later, I got another email. Not from her. Not from Tom. From a lawyer. Turns out they got married. Quietly. At the courthouse, 2 weeks after she got out. She was still wearing the hospital wristband in one of the photos that got leaked later. And she was pregnant. 3 months along. But that wasn't the twist. The twist was in the paperwork. Turns out Tom had taken out a loan during our marriage. Big one. Business idea. Didn't tell me. Put it under both our names. And when I walked away without filing the right papers, he let it sit. Now it had defaulted. And guess who the creditors came for? Me. Because in the eyes of the bank, we were still married when he signed. And I never contested it. Never filed to remove my name. I'd wanted to disappear so badly, I left the door wide open for the debt to walk right in. I spent weeks untangling it. Had to dig up old documents. Prove timelines. File backdated paperwork. It cost me money. Time. Hours in courtrooms. Nights on the phone. People kept asking, "How did you not know?" Like somehow, the pain wasn't real unless I'd done all the paperwork to go with it. Eventually, I cleared my name. Barely. And when it was done, I went home and sat in the dark, realizing something I hadn't been ready to admit. I hadn't won. I didn't get revenge. I didn't come out stronger. I didn't move on and fall in love and find someone better. I wasn't living some sparkly new life in the city with great hair and a better man. I was just living. Alone. Quiet. Still a little angry. But no longer bleeding. That was the best I could do. I never spoke to her again. She tried to reach out. Said photos of the baby. Said she wanted to heal. Said she was going to therapy now. I deleted every message. Blocked every number. Not out of cruelty, but survival. Because if I let her back in, even for a second, I knew she'd find a new way to crawl under my skin and make herself at home. Last I heard, they split up. Tom disappeared. She moved back in with our parents. Said she needed help. Said the stress was too much. And everyone acted shocked.